It's the Rover Dave Taylor on another adventure, and this time I'm at Great Falls Park in Northern Virginia. This Potomac River runs through here, but it's a lot of jagged edges, a little bit of some big rocks and everything else, so you can't really go through it, but there's, at one time, a big area for trade. Let's go check out the trails, and let's go check out the falls. There are a handful of trails around the park, and I'm going to try to hit as many as I can with daylight and everything else. Right now, I'm on the Matildaville Trail. Behind me is what's left of Matildaville, which was incorporated in 1790 and thrived when the canal was open. That all changed in 1830 when the canal closed and people moved away and it wasn't prosperous anymore. So this is basically, this and one of the buildings is all that's kind of left of Matildaville. So what's behind me here is what's left of the company house. It was built by the Potomac Company in late 1790s, and it was intended for the superintendents of the canals to use, but only one of them ended up using it, and then other people who worked at the canal lived here for a few years after that. So we're kind of at the base of the park where the Potomac River runs through it. So you got a little bit of the rapids here, and you got just beautiful landscape. Take a look at this. And this is the Mather Gorge. It's named after Stephen Mather, and he was one of the guys who came up, actually had the idea for the national park system. And he's responsible for all the national parks here we got in the U.S. His great idea. And look what you get to experience here. It's hard to believe, about 35,000 years ago, where I'm standing right now, high up where the Potomac River is now, the river was here. And after the Ice Age, everything else, pushing sediment, everything through the stones, some of these rocks that you see above land here have big potholes in them. Of course, these took years to create, not the ones that we drive in every wintertime. I made my way up to the trail, and I guess you can call this like the holy grail of Great Falls here. But take a look at this. Whoa. So where does it all begin for the Potomac River? Well, it all starts near Fairfax, West Virginia. There's a small spring there. And then it gathers water from like Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Maryland, Virginia, and even the District of Columbia. And it's a long river. It's 383 miles long, and it goes out to the Chesapeake Bay. Now, when it reaches here, as you can see, the river narrows quite a bit and drops 76 feet. And then when you get like snow melt or you get a lot of rain west of here, the river is flowing quite mad. I'd love to see that sometime. We're walking along the Potomac Canal Trail. So this trail was beginning construction in the late 1700s. It was George Washington's idea to build a canal around the rough part of the river, so that way they can continue and go west and do some trade further up that way. And it took many years to construct. In fact, it didn't open until 1802 after George Washington passed, and it remained open until 1830. Now the company bought it a few years later, and it remained open for a number of years before closing permanently for good. But you can still see what's left of the canal trail. And there's a dam up ahead, so obviously there's really no water in the canal unless it's from rainfall and everything. But it took many years to put this canal together. All right, if I'm reading a map correctly, this right here should be the beginning of the canal that was initially constructed beginning in the late 1790s and finished in 1802. So the more north you go, you actually leave the park. You actually leave Great Falls Park, and the trails still continue. And you come across this dam here. And by the way, what you're looking at the other side, or basically right where the water is the state line between Virginia and Maryland. Well, there you go, Great Falls Park. When this place was first discovered, someone's like, these falls are pretty good. And someone's like, pretty good? Man, these falls are great. They're Great Falls, and that's how it got its name. Actually, I don't know how it got its name. I'll maybe look that up and drop a caption below. But I tell you, worth coming out here. It is so much to see, a lot of history considering the canal that once existed here. Still kind of does, but obviously not being used. Worth the trek, Northern Virginia, not too far from D.C. It's by Maryland. If you've done Niagara Falls, I guess this is like the lower Niagara Falls, if you will. Virginia's, DC's, Niagara Falls. You can get to this on the Maryland side too, by the way, but the Virginia side has a lot to offer and some trails and stuff. And it's like kayakers too. So thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, comment where else I should go. I'm the Rover Dave Taylor, and thanks for watching. You never know where I'm going to go.